Live in the human paradise. Breathe the pure air of heaven. Longevity, vitality, and a lifetime of bliss.
住在人间小天堂，呼吸天堂纯气，延寿长生，幸福一生。
Welcome to the Deep Dive, the place where we cut through the noise to get to the essential knowledge. Today, we're taking a look at the air you breathe inside your home and, more specifically, the machine you trust to clean it, your air purifier.
We are. And we're going to be dissecting the big advertising claims you see everywhere. If you've bought a HEPA filter, you've definitely seen the three big promises that, well, when you put them all together, our source material calls them the greatest illusion in the industry.
And that's our mission for this deep dive, unpacking that illusion. We're focusing on three guarantees that you see just repeated constantly by manufacturers.
Right.
First, that the filter is equipped with an H13 filter. Second, that it has a 5-year lifespan. And third, the really big one, that it removes PM 0.1 particles.
And we really need to understand why people, trust these claims so much and why the actual physics of air purification means those three things just can't all be true at the same time, not in your house anyway.
So we're trying to shift perception.
Exactly. We need to get you, the listener, to move from just hearing that comforting hum of the fan to understanding what the filter is actually doing. Or not doing.
Okay, so let's start with the foundation for all of this, that H13 claim.
Yeah.
When a company says they have an H13 grade filter, what are they actually technically telling us?
Well, this is where the illusion begins. H13, it's purely a lab grade. It's a laboratory-defined efficiency grade.
A lab grade.
Yeah, it's a snapshot of performance under these perfect, highly specific conditions that just don't exist in your living room.
Okay, so what are those perfect conditions? Because that's always where the catch is, right, in the fine print.
Precisely. To get the H13 certification, the test has to be done in a completely clean environment. And they use a consistent standard airflow, always 0.3 meters per second.
Okay, so steady, clean breeze. And what about the particles?
That's the most important part. They test it against one specific size, PM 0.3. That's particulate matter measuring 0.3 micrometers.
And under those, very specific lab rules, what's the efficiency they have to hit?
It's got to capture 99.95%. That's the magic number. That's what makes everyone feel safe.
But hold on, the test is for PM 0.3.
Right. Which is technically the hardest particle size for a mechanical filter to catch. It's called the most penetrating particle size.
Okay, that makes sense for the certification then. But that brings up the other claim we mentioned. Why do brands immediately turn around and advertise that they remove the much smaller PM 0.1 particles?
That is the heart of the marketing. PM 0.1 sounds much scarier, It's the really, really fine stuff. Viruses, smoke, combustion aerosols.
So they're suggesting it's medical grade.
Exactly. They suggest this superior level of protection. But the H13 standard, it doesn't even require testing for that.
So how do they even do it? I mean, if they are capturing PM 0.1 at the beginning, how?
It usually comes down to an extra feature, something like a nanoelectrostatic charge. When the filter is brand new, right out of the plastic, the fibers have this electrical charge.
And that helps it grab things.
It helps it grab those tiny PM 0.1 particles much better than just the mechanical fibers could. It's an initial performance boost.
But I'm guessing that boost doesn't last for 5 years.
Not even close. That's the tragic part. The second that brand new charged filter starts working in real air with real dust and humidity, two things happen at once.
Okay.
The mechanical fibers start to clog up and that electrostatic charge just dissipates. It gets neutralized by capturing charged dust and moisture from the air. The ability to catch those 0.1 particles just vanishes.
And that sets us up for the really big conflict, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The 5-year lifespan claim.
It does.
We're meant to believe that this H13 performance, which needs lab conditions and a fresh charge, can somehow last for half a decade.
And the material we analyzed just delivers this devastating counter-argument. The marketing talks about premium materials, but the real physical truth is in the mechanics of failure. The research shows the filter's micropores become completely clogged.
When? After a few years?
Within the first week of intensive use.
Wait, the first week? You're saying not 5 years, but maybe 5 to 7 days.
That's right. That's almost an instantaneous failure compared to what they advertise. Think about a normal home environment. You've got dust, sure, but also oil mist from cooking, humidity in the air, aerosols, pollen.
Things that are sticky.
Exactly. These things don't just get caught, they lock together on the surface of the filter fibers almost immediately.
So walk us through that. What actually happens when those microscopic pollutants start interlocking.
So at first, for the first few hours, maybe a day, the filter's working as intended, air goes in, particles get trapped. But very quickly, those pollutants form what the research calls a dense sealed film right across the media.
A sealed film?
Yeah, you can think of it like painting a very thin layer of lacquer across a coffee filter the air can't get through.
So that film basically just chokes the entire system. What does that do to the airflow?
It's catastrophic. Once that film is there, it blocks anywhere from 90 to 98% of the airflow. It's like you took a sheet of plastic wrap and laid it right over the filter cartridge.
But you'd still hear the fan, right?
Oh, yeah. You'd still hear the fan spinning, maybe even louder, but the air just isn't passing through the media anymore.
So the filtration, the whole point of the machine, it just stops and bypass begins.
Correct. The fan is pushing air, but because the path through the filter is blocked, the air takes the path of least resistance.
Around the filter.
Around the filter through tiny gaps in the seals along the edges of the housing. The machine is running, but purification has completely stopped.
This is where the deception gets really insidious. If the filter has been choked to death in a week, why does it still look perfectly white a year later?
Right. It's not dark and clogged up like a vacuum bag.
No.
And that's a concept the researchers call false life after death.
False life after death.
Yes. Because once the airflow can't get through that sealed film, the filter stops changing color. It can't get darker because the dirty air isn't touching the main fibers anymore. It also stops registering big changes in what we call pressure drop.
So the fact that it doesn't look dirty is actually proof that it's already failed.
That is the key insight. That beautiful, pristine white appearance that the industry markets as proof of this incredible longevity is, in reality, proof that the air has already bypassed it completely.
So its clean look just confirms that it's a corpse.
A corpse that has stopped functioning.
Exactly.
That just completely changes how we should think about filter life. If years are meaningless, what is the technical way to measure this? What's the real marker that tells us a filter is dead?
We have to stop thinking in calendar years and start thinking in the real technical metric. Pressure drop?
Pressure drop.
It's the difference in air pressure measured just before the filter and just after it. That is the real-life counter.
So as that dust layer builds up, the fan works harder, the resistance goes up, and that pressure drop number, it rises.
It rises.
Right?
And the physical limit here is remarkably small. That immediate failure we talked about, it happens when the dust layer on the surface reaches just 0.2 millimeters thick.
0.2 millimeters, that's tiny. What is that in real terms? It's about the thickness of 2 human hairs pressed against the filter. Once that layer forms, the airflow just plummets.
And is there a specific number, a pressure drop measurement, where it's considered a critical failure?
Yes. The definitive failure threshold is anything beyond 180 pascals of pressure difference. 180 pascals.
180 pascals.
Once you cross that, the sealed film is so dense that the air is overwhelmingly forced to detour. It just goes through all the gaps and cracks in the machine.
So if I'm at home listening to my machine, what does crossing that 180 path threshold actually feel like? Does the wind just stop?
It's often counterintuitive. The fan starts working harder to overcome the blockage so the machine can actually get louder.
Louder, really?
Yeah, especially on the high settings. You feel a strong blast of wind coming out, but that wind is deceptive. It's the sound of the fan screaming because its path is blocked. The air that is moving is just finding the fastest, unfiltered way out.
So you get all the airflow, but none of the purification.
None of the purification. It's like a flooded river just diverting completely around a dam.
And as consumers, we have been conditioned for decades to believe that loud wind means powerful cleaning.
That is the ultimate consumer trap. And it's why this bypass flow is so hazardous. You get the loud fan, the bright little LED lights, the feeling of wind, and it all creates this powerful illusion of purity.
You feel like it's working.
You feel like it's working. You see the clean white filter when you check it. You assume everything is fine.
But if that machine is running past that 180-pound limit, and the air is just bypassing, what is that loud wind actually doing to the air quality in the room?
It's doing the exact opposite of what you want. The machine is on, it's churning up all the existing polluted air in the room.
Stirring up dust.
Stirring up dust, aerosols, pollutants, and because none of it is actually passing through the filter media, it's just mixing it all back into the air you breathe. The wind moves, but purification does not. It becomes a very, very expensive fan.
This entire deep dive, it just fundamentally changes the relationship you have with your air purifier. You've given us the 3 core facts that just shatter this whole longevity myth.
Right. To summarize it for you, the learner, anyone marketing a product based on long-life H13 claims, is really working inside an industry-wide illusion. You now get 3 unavoidable truths.
Okay, give us the breakdown.
First, H13 is a test standard. It's for perfect lab conditions using PM 0.3. It is not a real-world, long-term guarantee of performance.
Right, it's a snapshot in a lab.
Second, that electrostatic charge you need for the tiny particles and the poor clogging that happens right away, they render the filter effectively useless within days or weeks, not 5 years.
And the third?
And third, once that filter clogs, the airflow bypass just creates false purification. It stirs up the dirty air, and that's often indicated by a pressure drop above 180 pascals.
So once we speak this truth, the lie kind of collapses on its own. We've basically discovered that the pristine white look of that HEPA filter is the visual proof that the air has already stopped filtering through it.
It is. So for you, the learner, the next time you hear that that comforting sound of our running air purifier fan, maybe it's on its highest setting, ask yourself this provocative thought. Is that noise the sound of clean air successfully passing through a healthy, working filter? Or is it merely the sound of a desperate motor struggling to move air around a corpse that has stopped functioning?
Air 8-free maze purifier. The world's first single-pass purifier. Combining ionization, electrostatics, and airflow maze. The machine replaces humans. To absorb and destroy every toxin. Air enters the ion zone. Viruses and dust gain negative charge. They pass electrostatic filters. Then enter the toxbox maze. Aerosols dry on electrode walls, breaking down into CO2 and water. Inside the maze, air twists and strikes over 60 times. Each turn ends a toxin's life. Billions of particles in 0.1 second are fully purified. It releases Earth's purest air. The superheaven air quality. 8-free, dust-free, germ-free, toxin-free. Smoke-free, odor-free, heavy metal-free. Microplastic-free, aerosol-free. Not just an air machine. The only key to lifespan freedom. U.S. Patent No. 8268058B2.